Well, hello friends, family, and followers. Welcome back to G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. We're here by the battery room. The winds are starting to pick up a little bit. We're supposed to have a wind event going into the night and through tomorrow. And right now, we're just a few watts coming in on the turbine. But it is getting a little breezy, nice and cool, down to 80 degrees. Looks like some clouds in the sky over there, and they have mentioned, I watched the weather this morning, and they have mentioned that there's a possibility of rain coming this week, starting Wednesday, going into Thursday, going into Friday, and tapering off on Saturday. Well, we'll see. But what that tells me is I got to get my butt up in gear, get up here and cut that downspout in, get the sealant on that, get it sealed so it's watertight. And even if I can't get the first flush system put together, it probably won't be one of those big torrential rains, but just a little spotting here and there. So what I can do is that smaller blue barrel there is empty, and I can move that over and put it right underneath the downspout with a straight pipe coming down just to catch whatever water comes off of it and see what I get in it. So tomorrow's project has been set for me. Got to get this thing done. Also, I may have to just go and buy 5 gallons of Tropicool silicone roof sealant and get up there and coat the wooded area, and then worry about getting the tar paper on next year, because it won't hurt. That porch right there, I had leftover Tropicool. I had 2 gallons of it, so I coated that, and I also coated the floor where my laundry is with Tropicool, and it held up through the winter without a problem. So I can always do that to this one and get into another year. And then who knows, next year I may decide not to put tar paper on there, and I might just coat the whole thing over with, from this end over, just coat the whole thing with Tropicool. So we'll see. All right, so this morning I got up and I was having coffee about 6:15, and I looked out at the security cameras to see how the outdoors looked, and there was 2 big dogs over here by the coyote feeder, and one was a big white dog, almost looked like it had a an Irish setter body, but not the hair, just the size of the body. But had a pit bull's head on it. That was the white dog. The black dog, I didn't get a good look at him. He was foraging for something on the ground over there. So who knows? When I got up to take the picture of them, I did photograph them. They both ran off in that direction. So I've seen the white one before. The white one was in my trash over there by the cabin one night, and I got up and looked out the bedroom window. He saw me, or she saw me. I don't know if it's a male or a female. Took off running same direction. So they're coming from over in that direction. I don't know if they've got a place to live over there or shelter down or whatever, but that's the direction that they always seem to run off in. I don't mind if they come and eat something and drink out of the coyote feeder if they're hungry and thirsty. I don't want them to die a starvation death. But anyway, that's about all there is. I was in the electric room today, and I took those 2 fake mppt controllers out, and I put a real mppt controller in there and another good PWM right next to it, and did some research, and crossing or putting 2 or more charge controllers is actually the good way to go. The more you have actually is better, because if one goes down, it doesn't take your whole system down. You still got a system running, and you just lose part of your system, which you could always transfer over to one of the other controllers as long as you're not maxed out on them. So I also found out that putting a PWM and an mppt controller on the same battery bank, they don't fight each other. They work in unison, they work side by side. And yeah, they both were recording the same exact voltage and amperage and all of that all day long. So that's fine. And I'll get past with those for a little while. And then I've been looking online, and I also watched one guy did a comparison test of all the mppt controllers out there. And he was showing the different outputs on them and then doing the math on the savings and all of that. Well, his numbers came up showing that it'll take 10 years to recoup the cost of a really expensive mppt controller over using a good PWM. So I don't know if that's worth the trouble. If I can go 10 years on a PWM and equal out with what the MPPT would have at the cost that you have to pay for the expensive MPPT, what's the difference, right? I can get plenty of sun out here. So instead of spending money on a really expensive MPPT controller, why not invest in a couple more batteries on the battery bank? Because that's what carries the load. That's what powers all my equipment. It's the batteries. Then I can throw a couple more solar panels on, and all for less than what it would cost me for one controller. So that might be my plan. That's the way I'm going to go. All right, you see a bag of concrete sitting over here. I put that there to remind me to fix Andy's ramp, his leveling ramp. And I got the form all set. All I got to do is drill into the other side of the concrete pad, put a couple of pieces of rebar into there to tie the two together, and then I'll pour that second part of the slab. And it's going to be a full 4 inches thick, so it should be fine. Other than that, nothing else going on here. Weather looks like it might be moving in on me. They said that there's going to be a cross between a high and a low. It's going to bring up the winds, and people in the OC and LA are going to get Santa Ana wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. And I'm not going to get that. I'm only supposed to see the other end of it. And the winds are coming right out of the west tonight. So that means that they're probably getting some winds down there in LA. All right. G-Bear reminding you, don't forget to give me a thumbs up down there, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It won't hurt you. It'll help me, but it won't hurt you. And if you don't feel like having to get notified every time I post a video, just don't click the icon bell, that little bell icon. So you can look up whenever you want to and see if I posted something new. The bell icon just notifies you every time I post something new. All right, G-Bear signing off.